Smiling Sam Alvey, and you're tuning in to Combat Sports Coverage.
Hey, what's going on? This is Thomas Denzi with Combat Sports Coverage. And on this edition, I'll be interviewing UFC fan favorite Smiling Sam Alvey over his upcoming UFC fight, July 20th, live on ESPN in San Antonio, Texas. So Sam, tell me how your training camp's going so far, about 1 month out from this epic UFC fight.
Everything is going as perfect as it can be. No injuries, which is always good. Always nervous about that. Lots of training partners. Weight's great. It really is. Everything's going about as well as it could, a guy could hope for.
And for everyone that doesn't maybe not know, where are you training out of and who are you training out of with?
Yeah, I train out of Team Quest. It's with Dan Henderson, Tom Galicchio, Joe Stevenson, Dom Reyes. So we've got a lot of studs that keep me honest.
And how often is the legend in there, Dan Henderson? Is he still come to practice quite often?
Yeah, we see him every day. He may not practice every day, but we see him every day. Tomorrow, a couple of my training partners had to take off, so he said, yeah, I'll be in. So tomorrow, he's all mine tomorrow.
That's awesome. And how like instrumental was he to help you, maybe becoming like a fighter and everything like that?
To becoming a UFC kind of fighter. Yeah. He was second to none. He really was, and it was just he's always there, and he knows everything about MMA. So he's just you even see from our styles, we're similar enough.
And you seem like you've been training there for quite a long time. Since I can remember, I feel like you've always been banging their banner. How long have you been training there for?
It's either 8 or 9 years. I've been fighting for 11 or 12 years, so I've been with them for 8 or 9 of them.
And tell me, how do you see your fight playing out with your opponent, who is a submission specialist?
Same way I see most. I'm going to hit him harder and more often than he hits me. I train with some of the best some submission guys on the planet, and they don't catch me very often, so I'm going to make sure he doesn't catch me either.
And where would you say your biggest strength is in this fight? Is it going to be in your stand-up with your heavy hands?
That's what everyone always fears, but a good wrestling base will stop hands and jiu-jitsu.
Very true, very true. And then how do you see the fight playing out, though? Do you see yourself winning by a KO, TKO, a submission, or is it going to be an all-out war?
I'm hoping for a war. I'm hoping we put on something the fans like to see. I'll be in my home country, which doesn't happen all that often. And so he gets to travel into enemy territory. So I'm going to do my best to get that crowd pumping.
And tell me, how much helpful is it for you now to be fighting at 205 instead of at 185 pounds?
I feel just about as good. I'm a little smaller now that I'm at 205 than 185, but only a little bit. At 85, I was big. So I really feel about the same skill-wise. Camp is just a little easier. I don't have to diet quite as hard, as drastically.
And tell me, how much weight do you typically cut to make 205? Because, you're not, I would say, the most shredded guy on the roster. So I always wondered about that. You don't seem like a guy who has to cut a lot of weight to make 205.
Yeah, when I was 85 and 205, I'll walk around about 225, 230. So it's just, I still have a bit of a cut, but it's, not the most shredded guy on the roster. I'm more fit or less Sage Northcutt.
Yeah, exactly. And do you think it's beneficial for other fighters and for yourself not to be cutting so much weight?
I don't think it matters at all. I think it's an easier camp. I don't think it hurts anybody. I don't know that it helps anybody all that much. It's just you kind of go where you're comfortable, go where the fights are at. At the end of the day, it's the style of the fight, the style of the matchup, way more than it's the how you get to that weight.
And tell me, where do you think all your knockout power comes from? You have a 33 MMA wins, and 19 of those wins come by knockout or TKO. And I wonder where all your power comes from.
You got me. Yeah, I don't know. My dad at the beginning, he always said, you're always going to aim at the back of the head. You just got to get there through the front of the head. And so that's kind of what I do. When I hit the guy, I'm not trying to knock him out. I'm trying to kill him.
Trying to punch through him, basically, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a great gift. That's definitely something to be thankful for. Everyone who watches your fights always knows you come and throw heavy hands, and you're always looking for a knockout, which is why I think you're such a fan favorite. And how does it feel to be fighting on such a big stage like the ESPN?
It's great. I get more people get to see me. It's an easier platform for people to be able to tune into, and then again, everybody knows that it means sports. So it really is. It's a blessing getting to fight for those guys.
And for some people that may not know, you were on the Ultimate Fighter season 16 back in the day. And looking back at that time, what was like the worst and best experience for you being on that show?
Well, on that show, I had to make 170 pounds. So that was the worst. That was terrible. I'll never do it again. Unless the UFC asks me to, then I probably will. But hopefully they don't ask me to. So that was the worst. The best was I just got to meet so many good dudes. Neil Magny and I are still buddies. Shane Carwin's a wonderful man. And all the coaches of that show, they were just great.
And what was probably you say the worst part about it? Was it just making the 170 pounds or was anything?
Weight cut, 100%. Weight cut was the worst part. There wasn't even a close second.
And then looking back at your career, a lot of people may not know this is about to be your 20th fight with Zuffa. This will be your 18th UFC fight, and then if you count your 2 Ultimate Fighter fights, that's also with it. So this will be actually your 20th Zuffa fight. What do you think makes you such a fan favorite? Why do they always keep bringing you back and have you on their shows?
I think people love the smile. It's the weirdest thing because I would do it whether they liked it or not, but I'm so happy they like it. And honestly, I think it has something to do with I don't look like Sage Northcutt or really any other fighter. I look like a guy who probably shouldn't be in there, but then I go in there and I win 33 wins, and my losses, I could argue all of them.
Definitely. And looking back on your career with what is your most memorable moment inside the octagon? Is it some of your big wins, like over Rashad Evans, over John Vellante, over Nate Marquardt, or is it maybe some random moment when you first got your UFC call?
Most memorable, it was my first win in the UFC against Dylan Andrews, and we were circling and everything, and it was 10 seconds in. Someone in the audience shouts out, "Kick him in the dick!" And it was just loud. Everyone in the audience heard it, and there was kind of a split second where Dylan kind of nodded and smiled to each other, and the whole audience just erupts in laughter. So that's probably the most memorable moment.
That's funny. And then, like you said a little bit ago, your smile is so, like everybody knows you for your smile. Has there ever been like a time, like, and you're also a really happy guy, but like inside the cage, has there ever been like a fighter that like really pissed you off where you're really like, okay, I'm coming after this guy, or no, not yet?
No fighters. Mark Goddard, he's gotten under my skin twice now. So I think I might be done with him. But no fighters ever really gotten under my skin before.
And how important is it to have your wife in your corner with you?
I wouldn't have the career without her. The whole reason I'm training with Dan Henderson is because of her. The whole reason I'm fighting at all is because of her. She runs my corner. She runs my camp. She runs all of it. And I couldn't do any of it with her. And it sounds like a platitude. Every husband says it. But I really mean it. I would not have the career I have without everything she does or everything she's done for even my career specifically.
And how long has she been helping you in your corner?
I've been with her longer than I've been fighting, so she's never missed a fight. So I've got over 60 fights. She's been in the corner for all of them.
Oh wow, that's really cool. I didn't know it was through your whole MMA career. That's really cool.
Yeah, no. It started off. She was if I said she was my corner, she got a free ticket. So she was in my corner, and then she started taking it way more serious than I ever did.
That's a great way to use that towards your advantage. And then next weekend, July 6th, we will see 2 title fights in the UFC. We'll see John Jones taking on Thiago Santos for the 205 title, and we'll also see Amanda Nunes take on Holly Holmes for the for the 135-pound belt. I want to get your picks for those 2 UFC title fights.
I'm going to take Holly Holmes. I think she just moves too well, and I don't think she's going to get hit. If she gets hit, she could be in trouble, but she's got the cardio for 5 rounds, and I don't think Nunes necessarily does. And then Jones, I kind of had a sneaking suspicion Santos was going to catch him. Santos, big. I've met him a few times. Super big, powerful dude. And then I saw him in their stare down the other day, and Jones dwarfed him. I mean, it's like Santos looks like a 170-pounder around Jones. So I'm going heavy Jones now.
I would definitely agree on both those picks. I was surprised you picked Holly Holm. I think she's actually going to pull it off too, and I think she's a great underdog for all the betting peoples. And I agree on that Santos. I thought Santos and Jones were going to be closer in the same size, but he definitely did dwarf him at the weigh-ins.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, I looked at as many different camera angles as I could because I didn't believe it the first. I thought maybe Jones was closer or something, but no, those dudes are just huge size difference.
And do you have any other hobbies outside of training and fighting?
I love Nintendo Switch in particular. Playing Let's Go Pikachu right now, so it's first generation, and that's a lot of fun. I'm the world's greatest Super Smash Brothers player, so that's another thing I've got going for me.
Who's your favorite Smash Brother character to play as?
Link and Samus. They're both old school, and they're both slower than I can be the best with, but they're just more fun to play with.
And did you play the original one back in the day?
Yeah, I've been playing since day one.
Yeah, those are good games to play, definitely. And then do you have any last words for your opponent, Klitzen?
Don't get hurt. We got a month left. Don't get hurt, my man. Show up and take it like a man.
That's funny. And do you have any special shout-outs to any sponsors or training partners?
Not particularly. If y'all want to talk to me, hit me up on social media. It's at Smilin' Sam, SMILEN Sam. And that's everything. Instagram, Vines, Twitter, all that. Hit me up. I love talking to people.
Awesome. And everyone needs to make sure to check out Smilin' Sam Alvey. Be fighting in San Antonio, Texas, July 20th on ESPN. And thank you again, Sam, for coming on the show. I'm a Texas resident, so I'll be out there at the fights, be cheering for you, and I cannot wait to see your fight. And I look very forward to it. And thank you again.
Hey, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me on, my friend.